Hello, thank you so much for joining me in a new video. Today I have with me the Vivo V50 to start off. This device has just made its way to Mexico, so let's go ahead and unbox it. But first, let me share its price with you. It's priced at 16,999 pesos, which is definitely quite high. This price point places it in direct competition within the high-end entry segment. So let's dive in and see what it has to offer us. At this moment, something that stands out are the remarkable V-Safe benefits that Vivo provides. This particular device is categorized under the V-Safe Premium category, which means it will offer you some intriguing insurance options. It comes with no extra charge, including insurance against theft when you're outside your home or against any material damage, even if it's accidental. So, if it happens that you drop your cell phone during this insurance period and break the screen or something similar, they will replace it for you. Although, be sure to pay close attention to where you purchase it from, because depending on the dealer, they might vary the benefits or the coverages slightly. However, this is one of the main attractions that Vivo is emphasizing on their cell phones, along with an extended warranty that they will also offer you. So, let's go ahead and take this phone out of the box to see what we are dealing with. The cell phone is right here directly in front of us, and from this small sticker, they are already highlighting some of the features that the manufacturer wants to promote more features, such as the camera that comes in collaboration with Zeiss. This is something we've seen since the last generation, and before that it was only available on the high-end Vivo models. However, keep in mind that this is considered a premium mid-range device, although given the price, it competes in the entry-level high-end category. But we will continue to discuss that later. Additionally, it highlights the Aura Light Portraits, which refers to this small flash located on the back. It also mentions having a quad curved display, so it's not just the sides that are impressive, but also the top and bottom, featuring ultra-thin bezels. And finally, there's the 6000 mAh battery, which is definitely quite remarkable as it supports good charging power. So let's get this out of the way. Now, let me power up the device while we take a look at what else comes in the box. Let me also remove the stick that is on the back, and now we can take a closer look at the design of the back cover. As you can see, it's a very nice design. It's quite reflective, and it can be somewhat challenging to display through the camera the various reflections and small flashes that are produced on this back cover as you move the cell phone and view it from different angles. You'll really need to see it in person to fully appreciate this experience because it is truly interesting. The finish they have applied to this back cover, I believe that seeing it just through the camera doesn't really do it much justice. But before we proceed with examining the cell phone, let's take a moment to see what is included inside the box. To begin with, we find the case, which is a positive inclusion. It's a fully transparent case, entirely flexible with semi-rigid edges. It's not an overly advanced case, but it's worth noting that it comes with a cover for the USB-C port. This feature might be something you like or dislike. Personally, I'm not a fan of it, but I do believe it provides a decent level of protection to keep dust or any other particles from interfering with the devices. Functionality. Please let me know your opinion in the comments below. I must insist that personally I do not like these cases with covers. However, perhaps you do, and that's why I'm eager to hear what you think about them. Additionally, we will encounter some small quick papers, documents, and more items. Lastly, we come across the charger, which I mentioned earlier is 90 watts. The charging cable, as you can see, has a USB on one side. I believe this could be improved, especially since it is a device that is just starting to be distributed. The USB cable is quite costly, and I find that discovering USB in high-priced products is often not a very satisfying experience. It's important to remember to always use the original cable if you wish to enjoy the maximum charging power possible. So, that's exactly what is included here. Let's tidy up everything, and now let's take a look at the cell phone to explore its features. And there you have it. I now have the device unlocked and in my hands, allowing me to share some of its specifications with you. Please feel free to tell me in the comments what you think. What do you think of the proposal? I already anticipated the benefits that Vivo gives you, which are not directly part of the specifications of the cell phone, but that are good to consider as well. Its thickness is about 7.6 millimeters and has a weight of 199 grams. This is remarkable because of the large battery capacity it has, which I'll tell you about in a moment. But it definitely makes the phone stand out because it is quite thin and light despite integrating a very good capacity battery. In this particular case, the device is equipped with IP68 as well as IP69, which means it has excellent resistance to both water and dust. In fact, In all the promotional materials, it's suggested that you can take pictures underwater, indicating a recreational use, which definitely shows that it has a very high level of resistance. On the front, it also features a very strong protection developed by Vivo. It's not Gorilla Glass, but instead it is a special type of glass created by Vivo. As you may have noticed, it features an in-display fingerprint reader, which, even though it's optical, appears to respond quite swiftly. The screen measures 6.77 inches diagonally. It is an AMOLED screen as expected for a device in this price range, and it provides a full HD resolution of 1080 by 2392 pixels. Additionally, it offers a refresh rate of 120 Hz and a peak brightness of 4500 nits in certain areas locally, meaning some parts of the screen can emit more brightness when you're viewing HDR content. That level of brightness to give very good realism to all the content you are viewing. It is clear that it is a very good quality screen at the height of what one would expect at this price. Additionally, we will find stereo sound with a speaker below and another speaker in the earpiece area for calls. Although in principle, first impressions, the sound does not seem very spectacular, but fortunately, it is Esther. The front camera boasts a resolution of 50 megapixels and is equipped with autofocus. In other words, it's a camera that significantly surpasses many manufacturers by offering 50 megapixels. This feature even allows you to zoom in, and because it includes autofocus, you can get quite close and still capture the details of your face very clearly. It's undoubtedly a front camera with outstanding features, not just because it has 50 megapixels, but also because I personally appreciate it even more for its autofocus capability, which is a feature that many devices have not yet integrated into this price range. The aperture is f2.0, which is quite good, offering a balance between a wide camera and a bright camera. As you can see, the preview appears somewhat optimized, but after processing it improves significantly in terms of highlights and shadows. The level of detail is very impressive, and this will definitely be one of the aspects worth paying special attention to. We will have a more detailed analysis during the unboxing. On the back, we find a 50 megapixel ultra-wide camera with an f2.0 aperture and autofocus, which means it also functions excellently as a high-quality macro camera. Additionally, the main camera is also 50 megapixels with an f1.88 aperture, optical stabilization and autofocus. If you compare it to what most Android devices in this price range offer, it would definitely benefit from having a telephoto camera. However, if you compare it to an iPhone, for instance, it would be quite similar. In this situation, it's important to consider that we will also have a rendering of natural tones, which were developed in collaboration with Zeiss. Additionally, in portrait mode, we will find an extensive range of effects available, allowing us to select various styles of the bokeh effect. This is unlike the majority of Android devices, which typically have a single type of natural blur. Here you have the capability to simulate the use of more professional lenses, which can provide an appealing touch to your portrait photography as well. Let's examine some examples. In this case, it's the ultra-wide camera, and it certainly looks impressive. Keep in mind that this screen is compatible with XDR photographs, so for instance, these areas, although they are quite small, emit a larger amount of light. This results in a very realistic sensation when viewing the photographs, offering an excellent experience. Now you are viewing photography with a 23mm lens, which offers excellent quality. The collaboration with Zeiss enhances this type of photography, and during the day the quality is very good. Now when you apply 2x digital zoom, it appears to crop the sensor, providing almost optical quality, as if it had a 2x telephoto lens. We also find a positive experience with approximately 5x zoom, showing good results even when zooming in. It's a lot more, and it's starting to show that it's digital zoom, but I think the quality is still good. And now look at the 10x zoom picture. I think it shows a lot more chromatic aberration, although the level of detail is still positive if you don't zoom in too much on the picture. So it makes very good use of the information from the main sensor, and the maximum zoom is 20x. And considering it doesn't have a telephoto camera, the truth is that the zoom is pretty good. It's very decent, but definitely that. In the price range, most Android manufacturers will provide you with a superior quality zoom. So it is not that the zoom is bad, but within this price range, you will likely find other devices that perform better in that aspect. Now let's take a quick look at several portrait photos I captured. Remember, it allows you to take photos from various distances like 50, 35 or 23 millimeters. There's even an additional cinema perspective, another angle that lets you create a flare effect. And well, in general, as you observed, there are quite a few size effects that have been developed, and I find that all the portrait pictures are indeed very good with an impressively accurate depth detection. Do note that in my hand I am holding a very irregular object that has several holes, and yet the detection has been almost perfect. So I believe that portrait photography will definitely be one of the key points where this device is really going to shine a lot. And while we're discussing the topic of glowing, it's important to remember that this is the aura light that Vivo has been incorporating for several generations now. But what's new is that they have added, in addition to the manual or automatic adjustment of the color temperature, an intensity selector. So if you're aiming for a soft light just to fill the space, or if you prefer a very strong light to illuminate thoroughly, you now have the flexibility to adjust it entirely to your preference. It seems to me that this will indeed be another positive aspect in the overall experience of using this cell phone, particularly when it comes to portrait photography. This device definitely has areas where it competes quite well, yet there are other aspects that don't quite meet the expectations one might have at this price point. When it comes to video recording, the front camera offers 4K resolution at 30 frames per second as the maximum quality. However, it's important to note that if you enable the stabilization feature, the quality will decrease. When considering full HD, keep that in mind as well. On the back, we're going to discover that it offers 4K at 30 frames per second. Clearly, in this price range, we should be able to expect 4K at 60 frames per second. Fortunately, the ultra-wide camera does support 4K resolution at 30 frames per second. And unfortunately, it doesn't allow for dynamic switching between one camera and the other. Therefore, the experience is somewhat limited compared to what we would ideally like to find in a device at this price point. The battery, which boasts a capacity of 6,000 mAh, is indeed excellent and additionally supports 90 watts of charging. However, it will need to be tested because occasionally the numbers might suggest a duration that is quite different. Yet, at least when considering the battery capacity, one might expect this to be among the strongest features of this device. Nevertheless, be sure to wait for the video review for a more comprehensive and detailed test. It should be taken into account that this device does not have wireless charging capability, which I believe is a significant omission, especially at this price point. This particular device comes pre-installed with Android 15 and it runs TouchOS 15. The manufacturer has promised 3 years of Android updates and 4 years of security patches. I think this is a sufficient period for the device to maintain a good lifespan, although it is somewhat less than what many other manufacturers in the industry typically offer. In fact, there are some that from the mid-range, which is a price of half of what this device costs, are already offering you 6 years of updates, then you can get to fall short. But where it gets to stand out a lot is in the RAM, memory and storage. It has 12 gigabytes of RAM, more virtual RAM, which I don't consider as useful. But the physical RAM memory is very good, and 512 gigabytes of storage. You will surely have great capacity, though I believe this factor increases the device's price significantly. Personally, I'd opt for a 256 gigabytes version, which is cheaper, but this is the strategy and it certainly stands out here. Lastly, the processor is the Snapdragon 7 Gen 3. For benchmark figures, Geekbench shows 1,141 points in a single, 3,149 points in multi-core core, and in Antutu it got 8,16,876 points. What does all this mean? Well, it indicates that this device, in its price range, will be among the less powerful options. Yet, the power it possesses is more than sufficient for a significant number of users. However, if you are in search of a device known for its exceptional power and you enjoy playing very demanding games with numerous textures and advanced effects, you won't find that here. Here you will find a smooth experience for social networks, the camera and some other little things. However, if your priority is gaming or video editing and you want it to perform very quickly, you won't find that here. Of course, I invite you to wait for the video review so you can learn more details and see tests of this device. For now, we are coming to the end of this video. If you liked it, you know you can let us know, and we'll see you next time.